So just take a moment to settle yourselves, whether you're sitting or lying, and let yourself get a sense of the body resting as it rests. And I'd just like to open with some thoughts on some attitudes that can help us support a mindful practice. So these are attitudes and states of mind that we're invited to cultivate. They're not rules, they're not things that we have to achieve, and we certainly shouldn't strive to achieve them, but things that we're invited to consider, a way to approach mindfulness which may benefit us. So non-judging is one of the attitudes to mindful practice. And we tend to constantly judge our experience as either right or wrong, good or bad. And you may find yourself judging one mindfulness meditation practice against another, for example. This judging makes it hard to actually see what's truly present. So we're invited as best we can to apply a non-judging mind to the experience that we find. And this is similar to beginner's mind, which is one of the other attitudes that we focus on. And that's letting go of what we think we know about a subject, a situation, or even a person. And actually looking at what is here right now. And a third one is patience, the art of letting things unfold in their own time. And it's a gentle reminder to ourselves that life is a journey and not a destination. And this is also true of our meditation practice. There shouldn't be a state we're trying to achieve. We should simply let things unfold as they are and accept that meditation and mindfulness is an experience, a journey for life. And the last one I want to cover this evening is just simply trust. And through our mindfulness experience, we can learn to reconnect with our inner feelings and intuition, and actually developing wisdom from within through our mindful practice. And perhaps discovering that all the wisdom we really need in our lives is contained within, that we have access to it. And developing that sense of trust in ourselves. So from this stance, and if possible, just inviting some of those attitudes, if any of them resonated with you, and just settle in further to the experience of the body in this moment. How does the body feel as you sit or lie? Is there any tension from the day, any tiredness, fatigue, or experience of discomfort perhaps? Or perhaps the body is restful, easeful, and calm. Being present with this experience as you find it, as best you can. Befriending the experience, if possible. Bringing a kind and compassionate sense of awareness. What's true in this experience right now? And from this space, just taking a moment now to note any thoughts that might be bouncing around, thoughts from the day gone by, thoughts for the future ahead, or the random chatter, seemingly from nowhere. Noting the thoughts that are there. There are no thoughts that need to be had, and there are no thoughts that need not be had. Simply noting. Sense of curiosity as to the quality of the thoughts that are present here right now. And any emotions, any mood that's present here at the beginning part of this practice. Perhaps a need to relax, to let go. Perhaps a sense of tension, or perhaps calm. Again, there's no emotional state we need to achieve. That's not the part of this practice. We're looking to become detectives to our experience, present with it, and as best we can, abiding with it. Just noting the experience here. And now open your sense of awareness to the experience of sound that it reaches to you. What sounds are received by the ears? Perhaps the sound of your breathing. Perhaps the sound of others in the house. Perhaps sound from outside. Just rest open, waiting to receive the sounds. Try not to reach for them, but simply rest wide open with your consciousness, like a net, open to receive anything that comes its way. And when a sound appears, note if there's any emotional quality in response to that sound. Is there a sense that some sounds are pleasant and you'd like to hear more of them? Or that sounds are intruding and unpleasant, not welcome? And as always, the invitation is to simply notice any response, any reactiveness to the sounds that are experienced, without judgment, simply with curiosity. How does the next sound make you feel? If it makes you feel anything at all. And perhaps there is a simple neutrality to most of the sounds that reach the ears, that appear in consciousness. And you can simply notice that too. And perhaps noticing any thought patterns that might be triggered by certain sounds. When a noise appears, are there any thoughts that come in consequence? And there's no right or wrong. Not looking to push thoughts away or create any that aren't there to be found. What is the experience of sound in this moment to you. And what's the quality of the mind in this space? Is there a general sense as you wait to receive any sounds? Perhaps a general sense of comfort, pleasantness, or tension and edginess, or something else, or nothing at all. And if you find yourself lost to thoughts, just note the thought where it was taking you and gently come back to the practice of listening, simply being open to sounds. And now perhaps seeing if you can release any mental impression or image of the sounds that appear, and instead focus on the raw, energetic patterns as they're received. Pitch and tone, volume, the impression of distance. As best you can, letting go of thoughts, of the sounds, of identification of sounds, and instead being with, resting in the experience as you find it. See if you can give up and release the conscious efforts of focusing on the sounds and simply receive them. And give up the efforts of trying to focus only on the energetic patterns that present themselves, and instead simply rest in that experience. Letting go as best you can of any striving to achieve or to realize this practice. And simply be with. And from this space, keeping awareness of the experience of sound in the background, bring the focus of the foreground to the experience of the breath, perhaps at the tip of the nose. And perhaps to keep the experience of sound alive, noticing any sound of the breath at the tip of the nose in the body. What's the quality of the breath in this moment? You might notice cooler air coming into the nose, warmer air as it leaves again. Bringing a beginner's mind to the experience of the breath. For this practice, See if you can approach this as if it's the first breath you've ever noticed, the first breath of consciousness. See if you can gently stay close to the breath through the inhale and the exhale, being curious as to the length of the breath without trying to change it, not looking to deepen or make shallower or make slower. And remaining present with the experience of sound if you can. Perhaps noticing the tiny movements of the muscles in the face, the cheeks, any change of sensation or pressure around the eyes. Perhaps experience in the throat as the air continues its journey into the body. And is there any sense of emotional quality to this experience? Not looking to find something that isn't there to be found, but bringing the kind, compassionate, and curious awareness to whatever is truly present as the body breathes right here and right now. And seeing if you can invite a sense of beginner's mind to each breath the first breath of consciousness. Each breath a unique opportunity something perhaps to bring an attitude of wonder and awe to, if it feels appropriate. The marvelous wonder of the human body, simply breathing. And perhaps noting that as long as the body is breathing, there is always more right than wrong with us. What's the quality of the mind in this space? And if the mind is still noisy, that's okay. Remember, there's no way this experience needs to be. This isn't about stilling the mind. As we come towards the end of this practice, just give up all effort now to focus on anything in particular. Rest the mind wide open in the space that it finds itself. Open to noticing anything that is there to be noticed. Perhaps sounds, sense of the visual field, even if your eyes are closed. The experience of the body. Perhaps any aroma or taste that's present. Open to the 5 senses of experience. And even open to any thoughts that appear, any emotions present, and the simple feeling tone of this experience, this moment, the only moment we can be sure of. And if it feels okay to, perhaps take a moment to acknowledge the efforts that you have made, the dedication to invest time in yourself, caretaking the experience of the mind with kindness and compassion. And just gently and kindly acknowledge that if it feels okay to. A gentle sense of gratitude. And whenever you're ready, start returning to the direct experience that you're in, becoming aware of the sounds, sensations, and experience of the room around you. And whenever you're ready, taking all the time you need, just gently opening your eyes. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, however you spend it. Thank you.